How many workers would the coal company want to hire if the price of coal were competitively priced at $5 per ton and the wage rate were $40 per day? To answer this question, we'll first begin by extending this graph here and including a few more columns. The first column will be marginal product, and this will simply be the change in the total output of coal from the different workers. Second column we'll add is marginal revenue product, which is the marginal revenue produced from each worker or marginal product. So this is simply the marginal product times the price. And the last column will be marginal revenue cost, which is simply the cost or the wage we're paying to the workers, and this will be 40 for each worker. So now to fill out the graph, we'll begin by marginal product. So the for the first 0 worker, there's 0 product. First worker, the change is 25 in output, so marginal product is 25. From 25 to 44, the change is 19. From 44 to 60, the change is 16. 60 to 70, 10, and 5. Marginal revenue product is marginal product, which is this column, times the price for coal, which is $5 per ton. So for 0 times 5, 0, 0, 5 times 25, 125, 19 times 5, 95, 16 times 5, 80, 5 times 10, 50, and 5 times 5 is 25. Now from MRC, marginal revenue cost, this is simply 40 for each worker, because the wage rate for each worker is $40. So this will be 40 throughout. Now, the hiring rule in this case, well, for any of these situations, is the point where MRP equals MRC. This makes sense because marginal revenue product is simply the revenue brought in by each worker, each additional worker. MRC is the revenue or the cost paid to each worker, the wage. So if the worker brings in if the worker costs $40 each day, they should be able to bring in a revenue of $40 each day. So looking at the table, we can see that there's no point where MRP equals MRC. But at 4 workers, MRP is $50, which means they bring in $50 of revenue and they cost only $40 to pay. So this 4th worker is definitely bringing profit to the company, so they would hire the 4th worker. For the 5th worker, the MRP is 25, meaning they'd bring in $25 in revenue, but they'd cost $40 to pay. So the company would be at a loss if they hired this 5th worker. So therefore, the optimal number of workers the company should hire is 4. And looking at the answer choices, we can clearly see that the answer choice that maps to this is option B. So B is the correct answer.